Good afternoon. Today on Business Success in Six with Stacie, I have Bug Richardson Sealing from Knitcircus in Madison, Wisconsin. Bug, thanks for jumping on with me today.
Of course. Thanks, Stacie.
It's my pleasure. You have a beautiful background, and I'm sure you're going
Thanks.
to share all about your business with us and even a little bit about your background. So, if you're comfortable, I'm going to ask you 6 questions about Knitcircus. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. When people ask you what Knitcircus does, how do you describe it?
We're an independent yarn dyeing company that started right here in Madison, Wisconsin. And our kind of tagline that we like to say is we make color changing yarns so knitters don't have to buy a bunch of different colors.
That is awesome. And I know from experience, the color changing yarn just makes incredible products. So
Oh, yeah.
very neat that you're doing that. What were your plans when you started your business and how have they changed? I know we talked a little bit before I pressed record, and there's a really neat story behind this.
Yeah, I'm actually not the original owner of Knitcircus. I was the production manager and lead yarn dyer for several years for the previous owner before I purchased the business from her so that she could move to England actually with her husband. And I had my plans disrupted, just like everybody else did, by COVID because I purchased my business 3 months before the pandemic started.
Wow.
And as a new business owner, it was tough to jump in and really feel like things were going well, and then immediately had a halt put to, all the forward momentum that I had been building for those few months.
Mhm.
We had originally planned on wholesaling to other yarn stores, both locally and nationally, prior to the pandemic. And for the last few years, we've had to focus more on our local routes and still continue to do direct to customer sales. But last summer, we actually went to a wholesale trade show for the first time. And secured a bunch of new accounts and are now working towards that wholesale direction.
Oh my gosh, congratulations on
Thank you.
that. What is the biggest way that you impact the community?
Every year, Knitcircus Yarns organize and hosts the Madtown Yarn Shop Hop, which is a huge weekend full of activity and shopping and classes between 13 different yarn shops, fiber mills, and fiber farms actually in the Madison area. So typically within like a 1 hour drive radius of Madison. And it's a huge event. The Madison Knitters Guild is one of the largest in the countries, and we see a huge turnout every year for that.
That's incredible. So, somebody who is much younger than me, like say, might not know how to knit. And I know like the whole idea behind some of our younger generation, oh, knitters, those are grandmas that have time to do it. Have
Right.
you how do you impact the younger communities and get them involved so that this true art continues to, go through the generations?
Right. Well, I will tell you that COVID actually had a positive impact in our business in that way because as people were stuck at home, they turned to YouTube and online classes to pick up new hobbies that were sedentary and safe
Yeah.
at home, and knitting was definitely one of them. Another way is actually just working with local yarn shops to get more people in, get more people interested. And a lot of the younger generations learn from their grandmas, learn from their mothers, learn from the other people in their life who are older and who have that experience.
That is absolutely beautiful. Love it. Some of the fondest memories, right, of our
Yeah.
grandparents are doing just those things, and that bridging the gap and connecting the age
Yeah.
differences is absolutely beautiful. What is one challenge you have faced that other business owners can learn from? I know you said that you purchased the business 3 months before COVID, so you're welcome to expand upon that, or if there's anything else that you want to share.
There is, in switching to a more wholesale driven sales revenue, we closed our brick and mortar retail store. We actually had a local yarn store that was just our own products. Almost every yarn that was in there was made by us.
Mm.
And it was, just yet another place for Madison knitters and crocheters to come in and touch all of the woolly goodness. And we closed that down because it's actually, with such a small staff right now, we have three, I guess if you include me, four full-time employees and one part-time employee. It's really hard to do everything, and being able to focus not only on keeping the store open enough hours that it made sense to even have a store, plus manufacturing all of our own products, was incredibly challenging and exhausting. And nobody wants to work every single weekend. And, retail can be such a slog because you never know who's going to walk in the door, and like, is your day going to be busy, or is it going to be completely dead, or, all that kind of stuff. So it was nice to be able to refocus on the manufacturing because that's what we do best. But it was a challenge to switch from brick and mortar retail to just, being in our own space and fulfilling those orders. One of
Absolutely.
the things that actually we did to help make that transition is all of the local yarn stores carry our products now. So rather than having one spot where you come, you go to all of the different yarn stores, and you can find different things. And they've got a relationship with us from working with us for the Madtown Yarn Shop Hop, and are close friends with some of them, and community members and peers and things like that. The you know Every pun intended here, the community is very close knit. um so it's good to work with them and have a relationship with them to get our products out there for people to touch in person still, without having to staff our own location.
Absolutely. That must have been a huge decision and big challenge for you. When did you actually decide to close the brick and mortar and just,
July of last year.
okay, very interesting. So, and it's been going well. So congratulations on that.
Thank
And
you.
having
We're
those
still
connect-
standing.
Yeah, absolutely. What does the future look like to you? And do you have an exit plan?
The future to me looks like working towards a 4-day work week, if possible. I really value my time outside of work. I have a really awesome life. I mean, that's not to like brag or anything, but like, I enjoy my work a lot, and I really see value in it, but it's not the entirety of who I am, and it's not who I want my employees and coworkers essentially to be. Um, so I would love to get to a point where, now that we don't have a retail location that we're staffing ourselves, really working on the efficiency of our manufacturing so that we can keep the same level of pay, keep the same salary, but drop a full day of work.
That's incredible. That
As far as, go ahead, sorry.
that's just a great goal. And I love that you didn't just say for me to go do 4 days a week. You're
Oh, yeah.
thinking about your employees and your team, and that's so important. Not all business leaders do that. So
Well,
congratulations.
they are also some of my closest friends. I mean, I worked with them for 4 years prior to buying the business, and I just happened to be the one to do it. So, we're very close, and um, I want everything good in life for them, and that's just everything I would want for me, I want for them, and we're working on getting to that point. As far as an exit plan, I don't have one at this point, but if I had to pick one, it would be just liquidate, right? Like, with so much of retail and manufacturing and whatever, I mean, at some point you have to get rid of all the stock. And so the nice thing about this business is that it did start as a one-woman show. And, the original owner started in her basement as a way to work from home while she had younger kids. And I could take it all the way back down to that if I needed to, while I wanted to, pare down or essentially exit the business. So
Sure.
it's nice to be able to have that scalability.
Absolutely. And on the flip side of that, it would be possible to sell it because obviously it's a profitable entity as well. So instead
Yeah.
of selling it down, both
Right. And we
sides,
do
right?
have a really robust fiber arts community here. So there is possibly someone who would be interested in carrying the torch. But if there wasn't, it would be feasible to scale down immensely or liquidate.
Very interesting. Well, thank you. And the
Yeah.
last question I have, all subjects open. What inspires you most?
In terms of my work, the thing that inspires me the most is actually seeing finished projects from other crafters and artists. I love to see what people have done with our products, and it always generates new ideas, not just for me, but for my coworkers as well. They, sometimes we'll see somebody wearing, their new hand knit out of our color, and it's just instant fangirling over, how beautiful it is, and we get excited about knitting one of our own or putting together kits or things like that. So it's really inspiring to see what other people are doing with the same products or with our products.
Absolutely. I can only imagine how many different unique things are coming out. So very, very cool. Now, if somebody wants to get in touch with you to connect, to carry it at their retail location, what's
Mhm.
the best way for them to do that?
The best way for them to do that is to send an email to info@knitcircus.com.
Mhm.
If you are not a retailer looking to carry our yarns, but instead a direct customer, all of our products are actually online. And that was one of the biggest ways that we were able to, survive the pandemic, is that all of our catalog was already online. We weren't playing catch up there, but all of our products are online and we ship nationally, internationally, you name it. So knitcircus.com is where you can find all of our products online as well.
Well,
You can
thank you.
also find us on Instagram and Facebook as Knit Circus Yarns.
Okay, perfect. Now, just a side question, can people post some of the products that they have completed in their artwork on any of that, or do they send that to you? How would somebody get inspired with the
Right. Usually what we'll do is we'll ask permission to share a project and we'll feature it on our social media with like links back to their profiles or anything if they want, credit, or if they want people to, go to their site as well. So
Absolutely. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for such an interest sharing this really interesting business. It's absolutely beautiful. Love, love, love to learn more about it. And I'm sure our viewers will too. So thank you so much for your time, Bug.
yeah, you're welcome, Stacie. Thank
You
you.
have a great day. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.